Hi, my name is Eva Kraus. I am Associate Editor at Worth, and today I'm going to be talking to Jessica Iclisoy, who is the CEO and founder of California Baby. Thank you so much for joining us, Jessica.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Awesome. So I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about California Baby. I think that this is such an amazing brand, an amazing company. You started it a long time ago and have kind of been at the forefront of this move toward natural skincare. And I was wondering if you could tell us what gap in the market was the company originally designed to fill, and how has that mission changed over time?
Yeah, well, so California Baby is 26 years old, and I did not intend to start a business, actually. I wasn't filling a gap. There was no white space that I saw. I was trying to solve a problem. So I was a new mom, and I happened to pick up a chemical dictionary at the library, as one does, and started looking up the ingredients of my baby shampoo, and I compared the conventional and the natural shampoo and found that they were identical. And many of the ingredients were listed as carcinogens or potential carcinogens. And I was very alarmed because I was trying to live a natural lifestyle. I was in California, and this is when organic was in its infancy. And I would talk to people about it, and they really didn't seem to care, but I cared. And so it became a passion project for me. It was 3 years of research and development. I don't have a degree in chemistry. I had no background. I just had like curiosity, and I made the product in my kitchen on my stove.
Amazing.
The calming shampoo and body wash. And then I walked into Whole Foods, my local Whole Foods, and I said, you need to be carrying this product because it's much better than that. And I explained why. And then I was in business.
That is absolutely incredible. And it actually brings me to my next question, what you said about how there was no difference between the conventional and the natural products. You have been very vocal about the need for legislation that defines what it means to sell a natural skincare product.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about that and what that mission means for transparency?
Right, and that was from the very beginning because I was just being alarmed at that a product could be marketed as natural. I was paying a premium for it, and it was no different than the conventional product there. And so that's part of California's DNA from the beginning. And over time, I've been to DC multiple times talking to congressmen, senators, working with environmental groups and other businesses to try to really define what is natural. Because, the word natural, what does it mean? Do you know what it means? I don't think anybody knows what it means. Does clean beauty, does anybody know what clean beauty means? I don't know what it means. There's no real definition. I know what organic means because organic is a federal, law, and there's real penalties, and there's a, definition of it. So I wanted to create a natural standard that mimicked the organic standard. And everything takes time. It just, unfortunately, I did go to DC, and it was pretty dispiriting because you think you've got this legislation and then it starts getting watered down, and the very people who say they want it and are marketing that they are advocating for it are the very people or companies that are watering it down. So, it's a fight, and it's a long-term fight, but it's one that I'm willing to continue to advocate for.
How would you suggest that the conscious consumer can help add their voice to that fight, to have those words that are so often bandied about in relation to the products that we're buying actually certified so that we're all on the same page about what those words mean: natural, organic, sustainable?
Right. Yes.
So we know what we're buying, and we know what the company is held responsible for if they're going to put that word on their label.
Yeah, and it's very hard to know what you're buying. I would say in the beginning, the consumer shouldn't have to be a chemist to know that they're buying a safe product? Well, number one, I would say as consumers, you may be surprised to know that our legislators actually do want to hear from us. So a quick email, a quick phone call, it sounds like it's not impactful, but it really is. So when I go down there as a business, having consumers, chime in is very helpful. I always say, and it's still very hard. I think the first step is to create a definition of what is natural, what is, organic. California Baby, we actually have been R&Ding plant-based products. So we independently lab test our products. There is a test.
You independently grow a lot of your products as well.
And we independently grow a lot of our products because we couldn't source them. I spent a lot of years, banging on doors with my suppliers and saying, can you please make, a plant-based preservative? And they just weren't interested. And I'm talking about big companies like the Dow Chemicals of the world. And I remember talking to them at a trade show one time, and they're like, oh no, that's too expensive. I'm like, really, how much do you think that would cost? They're like, at least $1 million. I'm like, that's too much money for you to make a plant preservative. And so I have found that, and California Baby's in a unique position because we actually manufacture our own products. We have an FDA registered facility in Los Angeles, and it's certified organic as well. So I kind of had this aha moment, and I was like, I'm just going to have to make it myself. So I R&D'd a plant preservative. So California Baby really is the only company that can claim 100% natural, plant-based, and we back it up with testing. So we send it to an independent lab, and they do a carbon-14 test. So what carbon-14 does is it tests for plant carbon and petroleum carbon, and it gives you a percentage. So it's really easy. And then they send the results to the USDA, because there's an actual bio-based program, and they certify it. So this is basically, and I would challenge a lot of companies to do it. I don't think they would do it because they're still hiding behind the greenwashing of being able to say, they're natural, they're this, they're organic, or they're 99%. Well, that 1% is the hard part. So whenever I hear that, I go, I roll my eyes. I do the big eye roll.
Absolutely. And why is that? What would your advice be to business leaders who are looking to implement more sustainable practices and processes into their business model? What can they do, and what does it take on a personal level to make those hard decisions?
Well, I would say number one, don't be afraid. I think sometimes companies are afraid if they expose themselves because they truly don't even know. The supply chain, and this is what we do at California Baby, is we really drill down into our supply chain. So we know where the product's coming from. We independently test the material. So I think they don't know, and there's lots of contaminants in ingredients. I'm talking about skincare specifically. So it's scary, it's scary to actually know what's in your product, but step one is you've got to know what's in your product in order to make improvement. And then you have to make those choices. You have to make those hard choices of being able to choose an ingredient that might be more expensive. It's definitely going to be more expensive, but you're going to have to make that choice, and you have to start somewhere.
Right. What are some investments that you have made as a business leader that you have seen have the biggest payoffs?
Well, I think consistently, we maxed out our manufacturing facility with solar panels, and we offset up to 70% of our manufacturing, which is, we run heavy machines, so that's pretty significant. And we also have an organic farm in Santa Barbara County, and we don't even pay electricity bills there. So there's an upfront cost, but then over time it pays back. And also, there are subsidies. We get a federal tax credit for that, and some utilities rebate it. So I think that's...
So there are support systems in place to start taking these steps.
Absolutely. Yes.
Awesome. How do you reply to the sentiment in the business community that it's too expensive to be sustainable? What would you say to those business leaders who are kind of pushing that off?
Well, I think it's a cop-out. I think it's an easy way out to say it's too expensive. And look, if you're building a company that is built to last, you have to do you do the work up front, and it will pay off in the end. So, if you're going from quarter to quarter to quarter, yeah, it's too expensive. But if you really are building a good, solid company, though, and also the other message is that until we all are buying sustainably as companies, the prices aren't going to go down. So, make that, and it can be very simple. It could just be recycled paper, recycled plastic, just make those sustainable choices, and then the prices will start to come down over time. But we have to start somewhere.
Right, and as everybody gets more on board, it will become easier for everybody to get involved.
Yeah, exactly. Then, as a collective, we're more powerful than just, me as one company doing my thing or another company doing their thing. And that's how we can make change.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we're all out of time. Jessica, it was so great to have you here.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.